So you want to start investing in real estate, but you don't have any money and you don't know where to start. Man, do I have the video for you. In this video, I'm going to talk about the top 3 ways that new investors can start investing in real estate without using any of their own money. I'm going to cover those top 3 ways. I'm going to go over some pros and cons of each so you can make an informed decision and decide which path you want to go down, or maybe you want to do all 3. Please give this video a like, and if by the end of this video you're not satisfied, you can unclick that like. So I own $26 million worth of real estate that I bought without using any of my own money. I also own a house buying company with a couple other of my buddies that's going to flip 300 houses this year. So I do a lot in this real estate investing space. I want to take a step back and go back to the very beginning of my journey and talk about things that I did and people that I saw and how they were successful from the very, very start by doing the things I'm going to talk about. One caveat I did want to add is investing this way, investing without using any of your own money, is going to require distressed properties. Whether you're renting them, flipping them, or wholesaling, you need to find distressed properties and add value. Either you're adding value or somebody else is, but the key is finding distressed properties. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about those 3 ways that new investors invest in real estate without using any of their money. The 3 ways are wholesaling, owning rental properties, and fixing and flipping. You may have heard of all 3 of those, but you probably haven't heard of how you can do them without using any of your own money from the very beginning. Number 1, wholesaling. So what is wholesaling? Wholesaling is selling paper. You're not actually selling properties. I'll get into some pros and cons here in a second, but let's talk about what wholesaling is. When you're a wholesaler, you're simply connecting the dots from a real estate investor to a distressed house. It's very similar to being a real estate agent, but real estate agents need a license, A, and B, they connect home sellers with home buyers. A wholesaler is kind of like a real estate agent, but in the investing world. And the beautiful thing about wholesaling is you don't have to use any of your own money to do it. Literally anybody can wholesale. You can be in jail if you have a cell phone and wholesale. You can live in the middle of the woods and just be on Wi-Fi to wholesale. You can do it in your own town. You can do it while you're on vacation in Spain. Literally anybody at any point can wholesale. You don't even need a social security number to wholesale. So that's the beautiful thing about it, is anybody can do it. You are selling paper, not properties, and most people never close on a property ever if they're just a wholesaler. Let's talk about some pros of wholesaling. As I stated earlier, you don't need any money to wholesale, but you also don't need any credit. So you don't need money or credit to wholesale because you're not closing on the property. The only reason people need money and credit to buy real estate is if they're going to close on it and own it themselves. If you want to wholesale and never own a property, you don't have to do it. There's also 0 risk when it comes to wholesaling if you do it the right way. If you have a contingency in the contract, which is very normal, that allows you to back out of the contract after a couple weeks, there is 0 risk, because as long as you're communicating with the seller as you're trying to sell that property to somebody that has money and credit, and you can't find a seller, you can back out if it's within that contingency period. Now, this is not a sketchy or weird thing to do. Every contractor, I guess most real estate contracts, have these types of verbiage in them. You know, a inspection contingency. If you bought your house or your parents bought a house, there's a 2-week or sometimes 30-day inspection period where they get professionals in to inspect the property and inspect things that a normal buyer or homeowner wouldn't know to look for. There's also financial contingencies. Banks have to approve lending on a property. It's very similar in the investing world. There's just a little bit different terminology, but if you can have a 2-week contingency period in there, you will never have any risk if you do it the right way. I also talked about it earlier, but literally anybody can wholesale real estate. You can wholesale real estate with an 800 credit score. You can wholesale real estate with a 400 credit score. You can wholesale real estate while you're going through bankruptcy, or you can wholesale real estate with $1 million in the bank. Literally anybody can do it. The first con of wholesaling is it's hard work. And that may not sound like a con, but it is. It's literally however hard you want to work is how much money you can make. If you want to go out and actively look for distressed properties, you're going to have to roll up your sleeves and go do it, or figure out creative ways to come across distressed properties. Number 2 is it's not really wealth building activities. It's great to make active income, but you're not making passive long-term income. If you stop wholesaling houses, you stop making money. The second way, and my most favorite way to invest in real estate without using any of your own money, is to own rental properties. Now, obviously, there's a process that goes into that to allow you to do it without using any of their own money. Not going to go into a ton of detail in that right now. If you would like, The second time you're watching this video, click on this link above where I walk you through a house that I'm actually buying and fixing up. We do before and afters to show you step by step how you buy rental properties using other people's money. But for the sake of this video, I kind of want to keep it a little bit higher level and talk about some bigger picture things. In a nutshell, if you want to buy rental properties using other people's money, you need to make connections with hard money lenders, private money lenders, and small local banks. You do those three things and you never have to use your own money. All right, let's go over some pros of owning rental properties. Number one, if you do it the Faster Freedom way with the Faster Freedom framework through the BRRRR method, you don't have to use any of your own money. Unlike wholesaling, this does require money, but it does not have to be your own money. There is so much money out there just waiting to invest in real estate. You just need to know where to find it, which again, I talk a lot about that on this channel, but go out and find the money and invest it in real estate. You don't have to use your own. Number two is it's a great way to build wealth. If you spend some time growing and buying a rental portfolio, eventually you can stop growing and buying rental properties and you're still going to be collecting passive income every single month through the cash flow of the rental properties, even if you don't use any of your own money. The third and my favorite, it allows you to impact generations to come. If you decide to buy rental properties, hopefully my channel can help on here. I have a mentorship that can help as well. If you have any interest, check out the description below for my free training about it. But regardless of that, if you spend some time growing a rental portfolio over the next several years, you're not only setting yourself up for the rest of your life, you're setting your family up for generations to come. If you buy a healthy enough rental portfolio, you can pass that along and that can get passed along down the lines. So you're not only impacting your immediate family, you're impacting people you'll probably never meet, and that's really cool. A few quick cons of owning rental properties are, one, you have to find that money, OPM or other people's money. You have to go out and actively find other people's money. As I said, you don't have to use any of your own money, but you do have to find money if you want to own rental properties long term. Second con would be you do need to have a decent credit score. It doesn't need to be 850, but it probably can't be 550. It's got to be somewhere in between. Depends on the deal and the bank, but I would say you got to have a credit score of 650 or higher to own rental properties. Now don't fret if you don't have that. You can simply partner with someone that has a little bit better credit score than you, and you can do the hard work, the heavy lifting, find the deals. If they bring money and or credit to the table, it's a partnership made in heaven. Number three is managing tenants. Again, this is not something you have to do. You can hire this out so you don't have to actively manage tenants. But owning rental properties does require you to have tenants that pay the rent, and you take that rent and you pay all the owning expenses, plus you get some cash flow left over. So just having to deal with tenants, while I like it, I enjoy putting awesome families in great properties, and my property management team is incredible. You can do it yourself or hire it out. It is a little bit of a con if it's not your thing. Number three, fixing and flipping. So fixing and flipping is simply buying a property that's distressed at a discount, fixing it up, and then selling it hopefully for more than you bought it and fixed it up for. Now a lot of people do this with their own money, some people go to banks, but most people use this with other people's money. Those shows you've seen on HGTV, you know, Fix or Flop, Fixer Upper, all those shows, those people on there are using other people's money. They're usually using private lenders' money, but they're using somebody else's money to buy that property, fix it up, and then when they sell it, they pay that person they borrowed the money from back the money they lent them to buy it and fix it up, plus interest, and then the rest they get to keep as profit. All right, let's go over some pros of fixing and flipping. Number one is it's fun. You can act like you're on TV, you know, looking at before and after pictures, kind of creating some cool features in houses and bringing an old, like dirty or gross or worn out house and reviving it and kind of almost reviving that block or that neighborhood that house is in, because it's probably the ugliest house on the block. So it's really fun to do that. A lot of people are able to scratch that creative itch, and creating something from nothing is pretty cool. Number two is it's bigger chunks of money. If you're renting properties and utilizing the BRRRR method and the Faster Freedom framework, it's gonna take you a while to actively get cash flow. You're gonna get wealthy pretty quickly, but it's not as big chunks of money in your pocket. When you're fixing and flipping, you usually get bigger chunks of money. The third pro is it's a great way to lead into the BRRRR method and lead into owning rental properties. In fact, if you learn how to wholesale, learn how to fix and flip, you already are ready to own rental properties long term, because that's all the BRRRR method is, and that's all owning rentals using other people's money is: distressed properties, fixed up, refinance, and it's yours. So they kind of all lean together, but if you can learn how to fix and flip, you can burst if you'd like. Some cons are, there's some risks to this. You're closing on the property and you're fixing it up. So you or a partner, and maybe a private lender or hard money lender involved, there's risk because you're buying a property and you're gonna have to fix it up. You're not just wholesaling it along. So there's definitely more risk that goes along with fixing and flipping. Number two, you have to do the rehab yourself, or you have to manage somebody else that's doing the rehab for you. So just dealing with contractors and dealing with, materials and supplies and all that kind of stuff, and juggling all that, or juggling the contractors that are doing it, can be a lot of work. Number three is it's not passive at all. Kind of similar to wholesaling, if you stop flipping, you're not making any money. That's kind of what I really like to do all three, and owning rental properties is a passive income source. This flipping is definitely an active income source. So there's a million pros and cons out there to investing in real estate with the three methods I talked about, or even other methods that are out there. Just know that you don't need to use any of your own money, and there are a million different options and a million different ways you can slice and dice these. No matter what your situation and no matter where you live, you can invest in real estate, whether you have money or not, or you invest locally in your town, or you invest virtually in other cities. Real estate investing is such a powerful vehicle to get you to financial freedom, to get you to where you want to go, to get you to creating wealth, to get you to get out of debt, to pay your monthly bills, to get you a vacation house, whatever it is, wherever you want to go, real estate is the best vehicle to do that. Hopefully you utilize my channel and my stuff on here on all my social media platforms to help you get there sooner, quicker, faster. Because what I do is I take what I do every single day, my real estate investing companies, and I put it out there on these channels so you can learn from my successes and from my mistakes, so you have more successes and make less mistakes. If you want to know how to find money sources so you don't have to use any of your own money, click on this video above. I talk about how to find private lenders and what to say to them to give you their money. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, notification bell. You know the deal. See you on the next one.